What's going on, everyone? My name is Oil Bear, and welcome back to Interactive Horror Stories. We did the doll last time, so we're going to go with After Funeral. After Funeral is a modern gothic horror story that takes place 3 days after your son's burial. You receive messages in your computer. Those claim to be sent by your son's soul. He says that he wants to be with you once again, and he asks you to do a few things in order to be resurrected. Will you believe in the messages? Play. You used to be a father. It has been 3 days since your son, Jonathan White, was buried in the graveyard of your local church. He was 8 years old. He had golden hair and blue eyes, just like the beloved man in the Carpenter song, Close to You. Since your wife passed away, giving birth to Jonathan, and since he has been your everything, he was your angel. Now he is gone. He died on a snowy winter morning. You had gone to market, leaving him home alone at home. When you arrived at home, you found Jonathan lying on the bed motionless. His face was covered with his pillow, choked. Police couldn't find any trace of trespassing. You clearly remember the solemn moments of Jonathan's funeral. In fact, you try to forget it, but the details are in front of your eyes, and they won't go away. The priest had intoned psalms and prayers, those you are not so familiar with. You are not so religious. While the lifeless body of your son laid in the church, his feet were turned to the east. He was wearing black suits and shiny shoes. His skin was pale. He was too young for all this. You wished it was you lying there instead of him. Like the day Jonathan died, it is a snowy day in all of Ohio. There are 3 inches of snow outside. It's 14 o'clock now, or 2 p.m. now. You are a writer who has been on a writer's block since that day. Your favorite word processor is open in the computer. The screen is blank. You haven't written anything for a long time. There are cigarette butts in ashtray, and your black hot coffee in a blue cup on your work table. You chain smoke and consume a lot of coffee nowadays. As you're sipping your coffee, doorbell rings. Open the door. You open the door. It's Bob, your neighbor and friend. You had drunk beers and had barbecue with him for several times. Bob is a nice guy. He is overweight, has short black hair, and has no facial hair. He wears a dark blue jacket and black beanie. Hey, how are you? I just wanted to ask how you've been. I'm fine. Bob believes in your lie. It's a good thing that you're doing better, fam. Everyone knows losing a kid is a hard process, but I'm sure you will get over it. You are a strong man. Bob continues, I'm going to the market right now. Do you need anything? You remember that you are out of cigarettes. Yes, I need cigarettes. Ah, you need cigarettes? He puts his hand in his pocket, then pulls out a pack of cigarettes. Maybe I'm a bad friend for doing this, but anyway, take this. I will buy myself another pack in the market. You take the pack that has 10 cigarettes inside and thank him. Okay, man, see you later. You say goodbye to Bob, too. Then he goes. You close the door and sit back on your work table. You look at the computer screen that should have been blank, but no, it is not blank. Something is written. I'm just going to take a quick drink of water. Alright, I'm back. Sorry. Daddy, I missed you. Type Jonathan. You type Jonathan at the computer, then new letters get appended at the text in the screen. Whoever types it, he, she, it writes fast. When they are finished, they form 2 sentences. I can hear you, Daddy. Talk to me. Shout Jonathan. After you shout your deceased son's name out, new letters appear and form a reply. Yes, it's me. You are not a computer engineer, but you know that it is possible to hack someone's computer and pull a prank on him if the computer is online. Your computer is connected to the internet with an Ethernet cable. How's that possible? Good Lord said that I should be together with you. He said that I love you and you love me, so he sent me back. Oh? I am so afraid, Daddy. It is cold and dark. I am so cold here. Please bring me back. Do you want to see me once again? Yes. Find 5 candles and wait for the midnight. Bye for now, Daddy. You have got only one candle at home. You normally use the candle when the electricity is gone, so you don't need more than one candle before. What will you do? Asked Bob. You wear your long beige coat and black leather boots. You walk to Bob's house and ring the doorbell. After 10 seconds, Bob opens the door. Hey, what's up? I need 4 candles. Sure, I got plenty of them. Why do you need them, may I ask? I have received strange messages. Says that it's Jonathan. You explain Bob everything that happened today, including the owner of the messages asking for 5 candles. Bob looked quite surprised. I think someone is pulling a prank on you. I don't really believe in ghosts or something like that, but if I were you, I would not do what he wants you to do. Are you still sure you want the candles? Oh man, this is difficult. Yes, I want them. Very well, let me bring the candles. He goes to the kitchen, then he returns with 4 candles in his hands. Here you go. You thank him and take the candles, then return home. At home, you wait in front of your monitor. Nothing happens till midnight. Then a new message appears on the screen. I am back, Daddy. Did you bring the candles? Yes. Good. Let me explain how you can bring me back. Go to the cemetery, dig my grave, bring my coffin home. What? Oh wow. Good Lord wants us to be together. Don't you want to bring me back to life? You are not Jonathan. I will rape your wife's corpse. I will rape your... I don't know if I should do a kid... I don't think I should do a kid voice. I'm just gonna try and do a man voice. I will rape... I will... I'm trying... I will rape your wife's corpse. Do you hear me? I won't let you and her find peace. You're out of words. In response to this tantrum, no other messages appear. You turn off the computer. You take a high dose of sleeping pills because you will need it. You go to sleep. You see your deceased pretty wife in your dream, except that she is not pretty anymore because she is a rotten corpse. A skeleton, to be exact, lying within her coffin. You can't expect much to be left from her body after 8 years of death and decay. What makes this dream worse is the fact that she is moving. She writhes inside the coffin. You can feel her pain and despair from how her body parts are moving. You wake up to the sound of the door rings bell. You take a look at the clock. It's 10 a.m. You wear your slippers and open the door. It's Bob. Hello. Hello. I need to show you something. He holds a newspaper in his hand. There's anxiety on his face. You take the newspaper. It's Ohio's local newspaper. Another kid choked to death. Officers are investigating the curious case of repeated death of kids in the state. Yesterday night, a 6-year-old boy, Kevin Madsen, was found dead in his bed by his parents. His face was covered with his pillow. What makes this interesting for officers is that this is the 7th time a boy died this way this month in Ohio. Recently, 8 years old Jonathan White also died with a pillow in his face. Sheriff Wolcott states that he finds the recent events quite interesting. The end. There are 2 possible endings. Okay. I'm going to go through it again, and I'm going to try to... What the strategy that I'm going to do is I'm going to try to... I'm going to dig up the body, see if... I'm assuming that's going to do it again. You used to be a father. It's been 3 days since your son Jonathan White was buried in the graveyard of the local church. He was 8 years old. He had golden hair and blue eyes, just like the beloved man in the Carpenter song, Close to You. Since your wife passed away, giving birth to Jonathan, and since he has been your everything, he was your angel. Now he's gone. He died on a snowy winter morning. You had gone to market, leaving him home alone at home. When you arrived at home, you found Jonathan lying on the bed, motionless. His face was covered with his pillow, choked. Police couldn't find any trace of trespassing. You clearly remember the solemn moments of Jonathan's funeral. In fact, you try to forget, but the details are in front of your eyes and they won't go away. The priest had intoned psalms and prayers, those you are not so familiar with. You are not so religious. While the lifeless body of your son laid in the church, his feet were turned to the east. He was wearing black suits and shiny shoes. His skin was pale. He was too young for all this. You wish it was you lying there instead of him. Like the day Jonathan died, it's a snowy day in all of Ohio. There are 3 inches of snow outside. It's 14 o'clock right now. You're a writer who has been on writer's block since that day. Your favorite word processor is open in the computer. The screen is blank. You haven't written anything for a long time. There are cigarette butts in an ashtray and your black hot coffee in a blue cup on your work table. You chain smoke and consume a lot of coffee nowadays. As you're sipping your coffee, doorbell rings. Open the door. You open the door. It's Bob, your neighbor and friend. You had drunk beers and barbecue with him for several times. Bob is a nice guy. He is overweight, has short black hair, and has no facial hair. He wears a dark blue jacket and black beanie. Hey, how are you? I wanted to ask how you've been. I'm still depressed. Bob replies, I can imagine how hard it is. I never had kids, but I had a cat when I was younger. I loved her as my daughter. Then I had to bury her to the garden myself. It was tough. I know how much you love Jonathan. I am shocked to see him gone. I'm shocked like you to see him gone, sorry. Bob continues, I'm going to the market now. Do you need anything? You remember that you are out of cigarettes. No, thank you. Okay, man, see you later. You say goodbye to Bob, too. Then he goes. You close the door and sit back on your work table. You look at the computer screen that should have been blank, but no, it's not blank. Something is written. Daddy, I miss you, shout Jonathan. After you shout your deceased son's name out, new letters appear in form of reply. Yes, it's me. You are not a computer engineer, but you know that it is impossible to hack someone's computer and put a prank on him. If the computer is online, your computer is connected to the internet with an Ethernet cable. How is that possible, Jonathan? Good Lord said that I should be together with you. He said that I love you and you love me, so he sent me back. Oh? I am so afraid, Daddy. It is cold and dark. I am so cold here. Please bring me back. Do you want to see me once again? Yes. Find 5 candles and wait for the midnight. Bye for now, Daddy. You have got only 1 candle at home. You normally use the candle when the electricity is gone, so you don't need more than 1 candle. What will you do? Ask Bob. You wear your long beige coat and black leather boots. You walk to Bob's house and ring the doorbell. After 10 seconds, Bob opens the door. Hey, what's up? I need 4 candles. Sure, I have plenty of them. Why do you need them, may I ask? I received strange messages, says Jonathan. You explained Bob everything that happened today, including the owner of the messages asking for 5 candles. Bob looks quite surprised. I think someone is pulling a prank on you. I don't really believe in ghosts or something like that, but if I were you, I would not do what he wants you to do. Are you still sure you want the candles? Yes, I want them. Very well. Let me bring the candles. He goes to the kitchen. Then you return with 4 candles in his hand. Here you go. You thank him and take the candles, then return home. At home, you wait in front of the monitor. Nothing happens till midnight. Then a new message appears on the screen. I am back, Daddy. Did you bring the candles? Yes. Good. Let me explain how you can bring me back. Go to the cemetery, dig my grave, bring my coffin home. Okay. We shall speak again once you bring my coffin. You know it is insane what you do, but you get prepared to get outside. You wear your coat and get outside your home. It's snowing like hell, a cold interruption of hell outside. The sky has a bright purple color, illuminating the night with the help of a full moon behind the clouds. You get in your car and start it. The streets and roads are empty. There is only one outside. There is only you outside in this hour of night. It doesn't take long to arrive the church in its graveyard. Graveyard is covered with snow and gray mist. No lights come from the church. Either there is nobody inside or the priest is sleeping. That's good. You can't be seen while digging your son's grave. You find the graves of your son and wife. Jonathan white, and was buried next to his mother. There is an unoccupied area next to them. You will be buried there when your time comes. You search for a shovel. You find it in about 10 minutes. You are ready to dig the grave. Dig the grave. You start digging Jonathan's grave. After 6 feet of digging, you reach the little wooden coffin. You climb down and then carry the coffin up. After that, you climb up and carry the dirty coffin into your car's back seat. You had never done something this bizarre before. After you reach home, you get to your car and carry the coffin home. Luckily, there is nobody around. You drag the coffin to your living room's center. You don't care about the floor getting dirty with soil. "Thank you, Daddy," gets written on the screen. "Now put the candles around my coffin like a star." Okay. You carefully place the candles around the coffin, making it the center of a star. You light them with your lighter. "Now read these aloud, Daddy." "A lonely goat on a mountain. He is thirsty, thirsty for humanly love and affection. I shall give him the water." Read aloud. Read the lines. A lonely goat on a mountain. He is thirsty, thirsty for humanly love and affection. I shall give him the water." And the coffin starts to shake. The coffin's lid gets opened slowly. You see Jonathan opening the lid and raising up. His skin is pale, almost white. You can smell the rot of his undead corpse. He is wearing that black suit you couldn't forget. He stands on his feet and smiles at you. Then he steps outside the coffin away from you without saying anything. And he does something you wouldn't expect from dead. He dances with joy. After half a minute, he stops dancing, stares at you. His eyes are still blue. "Take me in your arms, Daddy. Take me to the bathroom. I want to show you something." It is impossible not to obey what he says. You feel his presence dominating the room, overwhelming you, and it's impossible to say no. You crouch down and take him in your arms. You carry him to the bathroom. You bring him to the dark bathroom. You turn on the light and get horrified by what you see in the mirror. The boy's reflection is different. His skin is burnt like coal. Jonathan had an innocent and handsome face, but the face you see is so far from being pleasant. It is a really old man's face, who is also very ugly, and he has no hair. "I always wanted I wanted a daddy like you," says the eldritch abomination you hold in your hands. The end. There are 2 possible endings. Okay, I think I found both possible endings, so I hope you all enjoyed this after funeral story from Interactive Horror Stories. As always, if you want to, you can like and subscribe. Completely up to you. But I do ask if you have any game suggestions, please put them in the comments down below, and I'll see if I can play them. Until next time, have a good day, everyone.